Hey everybody, welcome back to Ask LexRx. I'm Dr. Lexi, the functional medicine pharmacist at Divine Health and Wellness, which is the wellness clinic inside of River City Pharmacy in Decatur, Alabama. So today I am talking about joint supplements and like kind of what all of the different things are, how to choose between them, all of that good stuff. Hey Miss Vicky. It is summer and we all want to be able to move, freely, better, without pain, whatever you want to have the different nuances of that to be. But so what we're doing, I wanted to highlight all of the joint supplements and basically things that can help you do that, have a great summer, and go from there. So let's dive right in. I'm going to start with one of the most common ones, and that is glucosamine and chondroitin. This is very, very probably textbook, and for good reason. So glucosamine and chondroitin are both components of the connective tissue matrix that's in your joints. So if that's breaking down, then the matrix, the cushion, is not going to be what it could be. So that is where the basis for the glucosamine and chondroitin comes from. So after that, we have what's now becoming really popular. This is in our joint, or ultimate joint complex supplement, is collagen. And I talked about collagen a little bit before. It was more in relation to our powder form of the collagen, but this is a specific kind of collagen that's more prominent in your joints than necessarily in your skin or hair or other connective tissues. But it's basically one of the big building blocks for those connective tissues. So if you don't have the building blocks, you can't maintain that. That's just kind of how it goes. It's like baking a cake, right? If you don't have the ingredient, then it's not going to turn out. And I do want to remind you guys that collagen production in our body, the natural production, does start declining at age 25. So this is not something that, you necessarily have to wait until you have the problem to start supplementing with. So the other big component of our ultimate joint complex is something called MSM. And I'm not even going to try and pronounce the whole long word, so I'm just going to call it MSM. But what it is, it's a molecule, that's the word I was looking for, that's required for the structural integrity and function of almost every protein in the body. Kind of important. But it's also that important for those glycosaminoglycans like glucosamine and chondroitin in that connective tissue network. So this goes back to the building blocks. So MSM is more of a building block for glucosamine and chondroitin, that kind of thing. One other cool thing about MSM is it doesn't just stop with your joints. So MSM actually helps with normal immune function. It helps with lung function, other connective tissues, and muscle contraction. So it does all of those things. Very cool supplement. Anyway, so that is the ultimate joint complex. That is our collagen and MSM. Then moving on, I have also talked about hyaluronic acid before, but what it does is it brings the water into your joints so that it can actually be cushy. So it's kind of like a sponge with no water is what a joint with no hyaluronic acid is. So the hyaluronic acid does allow it to become that spongy, cushy material that is a normally functioning joint. Pretty cool. So then the last thing, those are all like structural things, supplements to help with the structural aspect of the joint, but you can also get something like Inflamove, which is a natural anti-inflammatory instead of getting taking lots of NSAIDs like ibuprofen or naproxen that can be very damaging to the gut. This is it basically does the same thing, but it's with nutraceuticals instead of the harsh components of those medications. So it's not as damaging. It really doesn't do any damage at all. It just helps calm down the whole inflammatory process, which can be relieving to joint pain. So I wanted to include that in there. So how do you even go about trying to pick between all of these, right? I mean, there's so many, they all do slightly different things. And, you know, I know you guys hate this response, if you will, but I did too when I was in school, but it depends. So it depends on what your goals are. If, you know, maybe you have really good structure in there as evidenced by like x-rays or whatever you have from your doctor, then maybe the hyaluronic acid is the way to go. If you have tons and tons of inflammation, maybe the Inflamove is the way to go. And if you're starting to see things break down, or if you're wanting to prevent breakdown, then maybe the Ultimate Joint Complex is the way to go. But I will say, probably out of all of these, my least favorite is the traditional glucosamine and chondroitin, just because it's not as, it's not as, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. So the others are more of the building blocks, and that's not really what the glucosamine and chondroitin does. Like it's part of it, but it's not as big of a part of it as the others, if that makes sense. So, okay, I'm gonna stop droning on today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was nice to see you all again, and I will see you in the next video, and that will be next week. Yes, okay, bye y'all.